Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not quite in there we go. Now I'm in the frame. Welcome. And welcome. I guess I'm right on time. I am right on time. So much to talk about today. Had a very weird week. Next week will be even weirder. The kids have 4 days next week, but they're all half days. So not really sure. Oh, hi, Olivia. It's hot today in New Jersey. If you can't see the chat, Olivia lives in the Midwest. She's saying she's getting like the typical Midwestern weather, which is also hell's front porch, basically. We've had the weirdest weather. And when I say weird, what I mean is by June in New Jersey, we have the humidity and we have the heat. But we've had super cool nights and we've had a dry spell. And we're being affected very seriously by the wildfires in Canada. The other day, Thursday, the warning for the air was it was horrible. And, I can't remember what the numbers are, but it was really bad. I mean, they had warnings for pregnant women, people with asthma, children, the whole push, the elderly, anybody with breathing disorders. It was bad. And now today, it's like a more typical mid-June New Jersey day. Sunny, humid, hot, but again, no rain. Still haven't had rain. And unfortunately, you guys know I live in the blueberry capital of the world, Hamilton, New Jersey. I'm not kidding. We're about to go into our picking season. We have all the different migrants are in town. So we have migrants from South America, Mexico and South America. We also have a lot of migrants that come in from Haiti. And we have a very small amount of migrants that seem to be Asian, but there's so few of them. I've tried to listen to what they're saying to see if I can figure out where they're from, but I can't figure out where they're from. And when I say a small amount, I mean like 2 families. Whereas the Haitians, we probably have 60, 75 Haitian people walking around picking right now. And then we also get hundreds of South Americans and people from Mexico, so Hispanic people. Oh, so you got rain last night in the Midwest. That's been good. Yeah, because we're going to need the rain. I can already feel like this is going to be a dry summer, which we don't get a lot of in New Jersey. We're known for our humidity. I mean, we're really known for our humidity. So, by the way, if you hear noise in the background, I'm running the dishwasher. So sometimes it gets a little loud. My dishwasher is historic and really needs to be replaced. But, I rent. So you know how that is. So anyway, this week, I finished up all of the Uncut Simplicity. So this is all 1970s. It wasn't a lot, but then I also went to Goodwill that one day. Here's what happened. When I say a whim, I have to be honest, it wasn't even a whim. It was like my car was on autopilot. Like I'm driving home from the post office after work, and all of a sudden I just was in the Goodwill parking lot. Like literally, I was actually thinking about other stuff. Like I was thinking about, did I need to go to the supermarket? How much yogurt did I have? Like I was thinking all those like kind of normal thoughts you have. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm in the Goodwill parking lot because apparently my car just goes to Goodwill now. So I was like, all right, what the heck? Maybe it's Kismet. And it was because I ended up getting, I don't even know what the final count is. I think it's 30. I think it was a little over, it was some weird amount. It was like 32 patterns or 31 patterns, right? Olivia, I think we've all done that before. The thing that I do all the time because I drive a school bus is you will see me stopped in my car at the railroad tracks because I'm so used to doing it on the bus that I forget that I'm a civilian and I don't have to stop at railroad tracks, but I do it all the time. And then like occasionally I sit there for a minute and somebody behind me is like beeping like, lady, what are you doing? Right. But whatever. So went to Goodwill. I think it's like 32 patterns or 31, I think. And they came to like $50. They did give me a discount. I talked them down. I got to be honest. I did my due diligence. They had 4 Vogue patterns to a bag and they priced them for $12.99. I said, that's too high. So I went to the woman who's the manager and she said, I'll tell you what, about $8.99 for the bag. And I said, yeah, that I can do. Because that makes the patterns like $2.50 a piece. which my threshold is normally $2 per pattern, but these are Vogues and they're all uncut and they're all still factory folded. And I did actually keep one, which we'll look at in a minute. Vogues always sell well. They always sell better than almost any other patterns that I stock, with the exception, obviously, of super cool vintage patterns. But I got to be honest, lately, I sold a lot of the 80s patterns and a lot of the 70s patterns this week. And I can see there was a pattern, we'll get to it in a minute, that I put up like yesterday. It's already in somebody's cart. So what that means is, I think, when's the 15th? The 15th is Thursday. So people will get paid Friday or Thursday. And then I'll get a lot of orders this weekend, which works for me. But so I have continued to go through the bathroom. We're just going to call them the bathroom patterns now. And I pulled out the last kind of box of odd craft patterns, which, by the way, was full of tons of Vogue art transfers, including some transfers that were not in any packaging, which we may have to go over at some point in time because they're really cool. They're definitely from the 40s. They have that brown paper and they're red. So they're very cool. I'm very excited about them. And in there, I found this catalog, which was just so freaking awesome. And when I first looked at it, I thought it was a design book, but it's not. It's actually, a catalog where you can order the plans for these different things. And they have everything. I just saw children's toys. There we go. Children's toys and bibs and stuff. My thought process for this, and I have other items like this that I have the same thought process for, is to very gingerly take this apart, scan them, and offer this booklet as a digital download. The same with my Ann Adams catalog, which we talked about years ago, right? Because there's such an interesting, here's the back page. Look at the colors. It's so cool. There's such interesting little things to look at. And while it would be great to make the money and sell them to one person, they're very fragile. There's something really wonderful about the idea that I could, oh, look at this. Thanks for your shoes. I could take these apart and just scan them so that other people could enjoy them too. So I just need to work on that because I have to figure out how to do this well. If you're going to scan them, they have to be good scans. And I haven't scanned stuff since I was scanning documents when I worked for an insurance company. So yeah. So I'll be keeping this and we'll be doing something with it. Okay. So what pattern did I keep from the Vogue? This one. Now here's the funny thing. You guys might remember I did a haul way back when I bought this pattern for myself. I was going to make a dress out of it. I had the large format. I ended up selling it. Then I did a haul where I got another one of these and I sold that one too. So this time I was like, okay, the universe is saying, make this dress. And it is a super cute dress. There's the line drawings. I really like it, especially this. I'm a huge fan of Claire. I can't believe I can't remember Claire's name. Just went right out of my head. Anyway, she was a famous designer from the 40s. Her clothes were really amazing. And this is very much like her style. So I'm keeping this one. So let's look at the Vogue patterns. So here is the first one. It's like a kimono and a shell and then palazzo pants, right? Very nice. I've had other things by this designer, but I'm still not really familiar with her. If any of you know who she is, raise your hand because I don't know who she is. And here's Julio Cesar. Yeah, this is a lovely jacket. Look at that. It's kind of a cocoon shape, but not really. And I have like 4 of these. And these, if you're a person that likes quilting, I can imagine someone making a version of that jacket in like a quilted format. And then there was this pattern. I do really love those trousers, but I think I have a couple trousers patterns. So all of these are going up on the site. And then this dress, I only had 2 of these, which is kind of a shame. This is a beautiful dress, but it's very formal. So, Yeah, it's in with the formal wear. This, unfortunately, I had two of these. Both of them have this weird thing. One of them, this I think is the one where I took the label off from Goodwill, but the other one has the same kind of mark, but it didn't have a price tag on it. And it's a high-low shirt slash dress slash whatever you want to call it. Has multiple styles, so you can really design whatever you want. This was kind of cute. It reminded me a little bit too much of pajamas. I also, a couple of things I don't love. I don't love capris because I'm almost 6 feet tall, or I was 6 feet tall when I was young. They look like I bought the wrong size. And I don't love the boxy style shapeless garments. I think that if you are a person who carries some weight, it's much better to define your waist. That's always been my kind of philosophy on that. I do really like this, though. Speaking of defining waist, I love this. And I'm not, you guys know me, I'm not a fan of the handkerchief or the high-low, but, you know, look how nice that is. So who knows? This might stay in my stash, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna offer it up to the Etsy gods. See who wants it. Claire McCardle. That's it. How did I forget that? You know, around here in Philadelphia, the original girl that played Annie was named Andrea McCardle. She became very famous in the area for playing Annie in the original version of Annie. And her last name's McCardle. So how could I forget Claire McCardle? Yes, thank you, Olivia. I love Claire McCardle. Her designs were simple at a time when women's clothing was very fussy, but they were also like the kind of thing you could see when you're looking at her clothes. They weren't tight. You didn't have to wear undergarments if you didn't feel like it. And they just looked so nice. They were asymmetrical. They were very modern looking at a time when, and you have to remember, she was designing kind of when New Look was coming in. So New Look, for those of you that don't know, was kind of fashioned by the House of Dior. And it was this extremely nipped in waist and then a very wide skirt that you had to wear crinolines under. And then a jacket that had a sloped, what's called like a sloped shoulder. So it was a very rounded shoulder. It was very soft and feminine. Sometimes there was a peplum on things, but it was very much the opposite of what we look like during the war. So no shoulder pads, no really squared lines. You know, the skirts were very wide instead of being very close to the body like they were during the war. Because even an A-line skirt during the war was much closer to the body than the skirts that were made for the New Look. So while I was going through the 70s patterns, I found one 60s patterns, 1968. I don't know how I missed it. It's super cute. It's really, really cute. It's in very good condition considering its age. It does have a little bit of tape on it, some old tape, and there's an old store stamp on it. But other than that, it's in very good shape. And it's actually quite a nice dress when you look at it. I like this detail here. Can you guys see how it cuts in? Yeah, and I'm wondering if there are pockets that you could do on the seam right here. There may not be, but it would be a nice thing to add. So let's do some Jiffy. All right, some 1970s Jiffy. There we go. Short jacket, bell bottoms. How many pieces is it? All right, so the pants are one giant piece. You cut two of them. It's interesting because they're pull-on pants. And then the jacket is 7 pieces. Yeah, kind of nice, right? And then there was this. This is so cute. I honestly remember a million dresses like this. Women wearing dresses like this. My mom wearing dresses like this. And when you look at it, it's so simple, but it's kind of, I mean, it's so nice. Look at that. Just throw it on, like this one especially. You know, throw it on. Go to the supermarket. This pattern, really cute. It's just a circle skirt with a waistband. There's you can see the lines there. I mean, it's not much, but I look at this and I think I might have to go back in and put in the SEO, which is like the descriptions of the patterns, put in that's a beginner's pattern, because that would be a good one to learn with. This pattern had the vest removed. I'm selling it as a wounded bird. Thank God, because I mean, the pants are actually kind of cool. The skirt's kind of cool, but like we need another vest pattern. Seriously. Oh, and this one. This is so nice. This is a trend. Here's another trend I'd like to bring back with, what did we say? handkerchiefs, punch bowls. There was some other stuff. I think percolators is my new thing because percolated coffee is so good, and I'm getting tired of the Keurig. I find the Keurig is really wasteful, regardless of whether you're buying the pods or you're filling it yourself, which I filled mine myself. There's always coffee grounds right in the middle that never got like really soaked, and the coffee's never strong enough. And I used to have a percolator, and then I gave it to Goodwill. And I don't know what I was thinking because it made the best coffee. Percolator coffee is delicious. If you've never had it, try it. Anyway, this is something I would like to bring back. The two-piece dress. Such an amazing wardrobe staple. You know, because what you end up with in this pattern is like they've done here, they've made matching fabric and they've made the blouse and the skirt and then the scarf. So you have a beautiful two-piece dress. Then you can separate them. You can make the skirt out of a coordinating fabric. You can make another blouse in cream or white or some very neutral fabric, and it all matches. You end up with an entire wardrobe from one pattern. I love patterns like this. I love a two-piece dress. I actually had one in around 2002. Believe it or not, I got it from Target. It was like, yes, you agree with me. Yes, right? Yeah, Keurig is super wasteful, right? And they're expensive. Hi, Marie. Yeah, you know, I don't love instant coffee, Marie. It's not strong enough for me. But Keurigs are so wasteful, and those pods are expensive. It used to be like they were about 25 cents a piece. I've noticed they're close to like 60 cents a piece now. I'm like, no way. So I switched to the thing you fill yourself. But I find in that there's always grounds in it that are completely dry. They never got wet. So I'm going to get a percolator and then I'm going to show it to you guys. All right. Yeah. They're so expensive and they're so completely wasteful. What an absolute nightmare for the environment. They don't biodegrade, you know, so yeah, they're such a waste for the environment. Okay. So speaking of separates patterns, this was in the estate sale haul. I thought it was cut, so I didn't really look twice at it. And then I was kind of messing around with them, and I felt this one. And I thought, well, this feels like a big pattern, and it is. I actually have it sitting over there because I couldn't get it back into the envelope without destroying the envelope. And it was completely uncut. It was just looked like somebody had opened it and put it back together. So whatever. Your husband has 3 vintage percolators. A man after my own heart. But this one is another great wardrobe piece, you know, and again, two-piece dress, right? Anyway, I had a two-piece dress that I got at Target, by the way. And you know what? Actually, it was really similar to this. Not exactly the same shirt, but the skirt is exactly the same skirt. And the shirt's kind of similar. And it was sleeveless because back in those days I was thin and had beautiful arms. It was black and white chevron skirt. And then the top was also chevron. It was a very 70s look. I kid you not. I got it on the clearance rack at Target. I think each piece was about $4.99. So it was like my $10 two-piece dress, right? I got more compliments on the $10 two-piece dress than any designer thing I ever wore. I'm not kidding you. And I'm sure lots of you, there was another dress I had from Target, you know, fast forward, during kind of the Mad Men era. And it was when Isaac Mizrahi was doing clothes for Target. And he did a light blue, chocolate brown, and like cream colored plaid dress. And again, got it on the clearance rack for like $10, maybe. It was like $9.99, right? Or it's like Target. Target does like $9.98, right? With something like that. And I used to wear this dress to work. And everybody's like, that dress is so nice. Was like, wait, I can go spend $100 on trousers for work by like Michael Kors and nobody makes a comment. And then I wear my $10 Target dress to work and you're all like, oh, what a nice dress. But, you know, live and learn, right? Oh, it is. Marie, you're right. It's like literally always the case. It's always funny to me that like people compliment me on stuff that I'm like, really? Like, you're complimenting me on this shirt that I bought at like, you know, like this particular shirt I'm wearing right now, I've decided to clone. I really love this shirt, but it's made of a jersey t-shirt style material and it's starting to pill. I got this shirt for $5.99. in 2019, because I remember I was at Costco with my friend Erin, who has a Costco membership, and we were buying food, and I looked over. I said, "Oh my God, that shirt is so cute!" And I bought it at Costco, and I have worn it to death. Can you see how pretty the pattern is, though? I know it's hard to see. It's very faded. I can't remember who it's by. I think it's by Lucky Brand, and it's such a great shirt, but it's dying. So I think I'm going to have to, instead of like giving it away, I think I'm going to clone it. I think I'm going to take it apart and make pattern pieces out of it when I ever start sewing again, because the problem with organizing things is you also get to a phase where everything is disorganized because you're organizing one area. At the end of the video, if it doesn't make you guys too seasick, I will show you I reorganized my whole area above my cabinets where I keep the patterns. So anyway, so we had one of these lovely patterns. This is a 1 yard shorts patterns, and it almost looks like there's not even a whole yard in some of these shorts. But oh, and this next pattern, the next two patterns are going to fly off the shelf if there's such a thing with patterns. So number one is this insanely cute cottagecore dress, which you can do with the ruffle and the ruffle on the bottom. You can do it with the ruffle on the top, no ruffle on the bottom, or you can do it with no ruffles at all and giant patch pockets. And as soon as I saw this, I thought, the cottagecore gals are going to go crazy. And then I saw this one. This one is not a gunny sack, but boy, does it look like it. Look at that skirt and that shirt. I actually listed this under the Western wear category on my page, my Etsy page, because to me, if you put a crinoline under that, doesn't that look like something you could square dance in, right? And it's just so cottagecore. So it should also fly off the shelf. And then here's a pattern that should fly off the shelf, but it won't. It's a four-gore A-line skirt. This is such a great pattern to have. And yet, I looked it up. There's a couple of them. I think I'm only charging $5 for this. But what a great skirt. There are the pieces. It's a very simple skirt, but one of the pieces is the belt. And what a great mid-length A-line skirt. And I really prefer the ones that have separate gores. They just, to me, look better. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that your sister passed away. Oh, you're going through her sewing room. You're going to see the history of your sister. It's amazing when you start going through people's sewing rooms that you see, like, you kind of see their history, you know. But it's also kind of sweet, you know. I'm very sorry for your loss. All right, so the rest of these patterns, I'm going to show you kind of in some categories because I found that I had multiples of these kind of, I guess categories, the right word for it. They're all really similar. Like here's the first one. And can you see how it's a look slimmer pattern? And it's really lovely. It's for a coat, kind of a mid-length coat. It's lovely. The nice thing about these, a lot of these look slimmer patterns, like this one's an 18, so it's a 40. It's a 40 chest. So even if you were a little bit bigger, it would be so much easier to size up. And here's another one that's a look slimmer. What a cute dress. This one, the envelope is really separating from the pattern. Some of them just do this. I don't know why, but they do. And here's another one. This one to me looks like it could possibly be zip front. I don't see anything that says whether it's a popover. Now, it looks like on the line drawings there's a zipper, but wouldn't that be cool if you changed the zipper to the front, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, and we had a bunch of these. Okay, so was it Olivia that was talking about the overalls? Olivia, look at this. Not only is it the overalls, it comes with transfers, so you can put your name on the overalls, and they were never used in this pattern. It was super awesome. It gets a little easier every year, but it's not, it's weird. A woman that I work with, her father passed, and it was very suddenly. She went to work, she came home, and her mother was hysterical. And she said, your father died of a heart attack, like literally that fast, which is I can't even imagine. And it gets easier. I don't know if better is the right word, but yeah, easier is the right word. You know, it stings less, right? It smarts less after a couple of years. Here's another great learn to sew pattern. This one is for the skirts and the trousers. Another how to sew pattern. It's how to sew, sorry, not learn to sew. Super cute. This one is already in somebody's cart, not surprisingly. I mean, it's cute. Look at how cute that maxi dress is, with or without the little bolero jacket. I had a lot of these how to sew patterns. I'm wondering if she taught her daughters to sew. This pattern's really weird. It comes with little like bikini panties to go under your skirt. I guess so you can bend over without exposing yourself. I'm not sure. Some young contemporary patterns. I have a couple of these. Cute little wardrobe pattern. Love this. This reminded me of Annie Hall. Doesn't this look like we're going into the Annie Hall phase? I can't remember what year this was. By the way, this bag, the pattern for the bag is, you see that? You can make the bag. Oh, you know what? Is it the, oh wait, maybe it's this bag is the one you're making. Or maybe it's adjustable. Maybe you can do it over the shoulder too. Not sure. Not sure. And then there was this. It wasn't a young contemporary, but it's a very young pattern. It's for making jeans or jean shorts. And it does it by height, which is a really interesting way to do this. It can be personalized. You can cut out the pattern pieces based on your height. So you choose your size and then you can go and it says, you know, I guess tall, taller, tallest. I don't know how they decide how many inches or whatever, but I guess it's probably an average. And then there was this. Yeah, we're rocking the country club sportswear with this one. So this is a stretch knit pattern. Kind of cool. It's the beginning of the stretch knit phase. And I think we talked about this before. The polo shirt. Remember, this is when we started to see polo shirts for women. It was in the 70s. And then these are just regular old non-specific simplicity patterns. They're not part of any specific line. This is so cute. This is probably in somebody's cart too. It's just so cute. And this. Okay. If you were in an Italian spy movie, here's your outfit, right? Good morning. Oh, I'm so glad. Did you get your order yet? I hope everything was good. I'm always concerned about the mail. The mail has lost so many orders on me, and then we have to track them down. And I'm up to about 3 now. This is another one that I'm thinking, you know, you could make that a zipper instead of a button. Well, thank you so much for purchasing from me, Pamela. I hope you enjoy your patterns if you didn't get them or when you do get them. Okay. Can everybody see that embroidery? And by the way, can everybody see the seam on those jeans, right? This has transfers. And I opened up the pattern and they were unused. They're wax transfers. They were never used. And I was like, yes, that is just the best. This one, which you all saw from the preview, I thought this was very 70s. There were a couple patterns that were a little more 70s, but I thought that was pretty 70s. This coat, another coat. Really nice. Almost looks like it would make a great maternity coat if you're a person who has to go through winter being pregnant. And then this is not only the skirt, but also that shirt, which is very sharp. And kind of the same shirt. I don't think the collar's not quite as wide. Oh, and this next, okay. This next pattern is the one that I put it up and then I went back to like kind of just look at how everything looked on my Etsy screen. And this was already in somebody's cart. But that's not surprising. It is all the pieces for this. In fact, is it turban included? No. Okay. Because remember a couple weeks back, we had that pattern that included the turban. Oh, wait, I do have more specialized patterns. So there were a couple of these. This is interesting. They're called designer patterns, but they don't tell you who the designer is. So I guess you guess who the designer is, you know. Yes, Pamela, by the way, you're saying that I gave you another discount. For anybody out there, you know, I give you guys the discount at the bottom of the page. That's just hussy. Well, then if you order from me, I send you another discount that says thanks. I give a lot of discounts. This one is very specific. If you look really closely, that's not a jacket. They're two pieces. And you can kind of see it on this, but it's not as easy to see. But what a wonderful pattern. And then this was really much more 70s than the one that I showed on the cover. The only thing I don't like this is this in white. It kind of reminds me of something that the dentist assistant used to wear when I was a kid, you know, so yeah, I'm just saying you could possibly look like a dental assistant, right? If you wear that. So you will see some links below. And this week I'm going to remember to talk about them, unlike last week, for some other stuff. She does. She looks like a dental assistant, right? Some links for some stuff for some other YouTubers. In fact, I might start doing this. I like spreading the love a little bit. Neither of them are sewers. They're both resellers. But what they have in common is the one is a reseller, and she very much is hitting that kind of 70s vibe. And I thought it was accurate to kind of bunch her up with these patterns this week. And the other one, she does a little bit of reselling, but mostly it's her and her husband furnishing their new house, which belonged to a family member. And it was a mid-century house. I think like a mid-60s house that they bought from a family member. And they actually have in their basement, I love this, her husband has this whole like, yes, dental assistant, yes, Pam, dental assistant by day, Italian spy at night. But her husband has kind of like a man cave, and they have all these videos. He's got a whole wall of videos, and he's got 2 gaming consoles, and he has a wood console TV. Like, yes, that one, like the one that you had as a kid, and when it stopped working, your mom just put the new TV on top. Yeah, that one. But it's great. Every time she shows her basement and they talk about videos, she just cracks me up. So I wanted to very quickly show you some of the weird and wacky and wonderful things that I found when I was going through the last box of the crafts, only because these are different. I don't have to really check these. They're not so bad. I might leave them in the sun for a little bit just to get a little bit of the mildew odor out of them. But so I figured, just as a little bonus, we will take a look at these, which is where I found this. And they are Southern made. These are crochet. These little crochet books. Hooked on crochet. And here's some of the different things you can make. Here's an old Red Heart crochet. Is this the one? One of them had a tag from Woolworths, and I'm like, well, you're pretty old then. The dishcloths. You know, I used to crochet, and the dishcloths was one of the things I used to make all the time. That and the little like head beanies. But since I had the cancer the first time, the bone cancer, my hands have so much arthritis. The crocheting really hurts, you know. This one must be from the 90s. It has a very 90s look, but some cute projects. And these sell okay for me. I have to price these at a really good price because they are such an odd thing. And, you know, but look at this Afghan. Granny squares. Granny squares. And then some baby stuff. I don't know. I'm wondering, you know, I know some young ladies, some young women are getting into, and probably men, are getting into sewing. And I definitely see a lot of people knitting. I don't see as many people crocheting, so I don't know. But hey, she's hooked on crochet. I love that she's got, oh, wow. Look at this. Ooh, this is an ad that's in there. I love that she's got acid wash. She's got an acid wash jacket that she added crochet to. That might be from the 80s. Crochet Digest. Oh, look at the back cover. Look at this. It's too much. This is, I guess this is the weirdest one. Oh, and she, you know what? She has got clothing you can make. All right, I don't know what that is. Is this? Okay, it's all crochet, but look, she earmarked something. So let's see what she was going to make. All right, there's her sticky notes. So I guess she was going to make that dress. Yeah, wow, a rickrack dress. Look at the crocheted Hawaiian outfit. I don't think so. Can you imagine in the heat how itchy a crocheted outfit would be? Even if you were a toddler and it was made of cotton. Wow, sugar and cream. I have a couple of these. Oh, wow, and she's got an all-white kitchen. So we weren't the first people to do all-white kitchens. That's the new trend now, which I think is funny because I get like why you would do white cabinets or whatever. But I have white countertops in my apartment, and they are by far, Pam's saying acrylic yarn. Could you imagine that itchy acrylic yarn? And your grandma makes you like a bathing suit out of it? Grandma. My kitchen countertops are white, which was possibly the dumbest idea I've ever heard of for a rental property. Everything has stained it. I've stained it with curry. I've stained it with tomato sauce. I've stained it with, I put wine down and there was a little bit of wine on the bottle and there's still a ring. And I keep using the Clorox gel trying to get these rings out of it. They don't come out, you know. And there were stains on it when I moved in. So the other lady was having the same problem. So it's granny squares, and then here's a faux patchwork made with crochet. It's very pretty. These are actually really nice. I'm going to air them out a little bit, and then I'm going to put them up online. I'll do that maybe next week. Next week's going to be interesting. I've got all the kids' patterns out. We're going to do kids' simplicity patterns because the majority of the patterns are simplicity, but because there's so many other patterns, and there's like 10 or 12 of the other companies, there's technically more of them. But if I just focus on simplicity, should be interesting. Like I said, next week, the kids have four half days. So we're out the 15th. Here's the problem. I drop the kids off. I drop high school off at 7:15, and I drop elementary school off at 8:30. I go back for high school at noon, and I go back for elementary at 1. Even though there's a fair amount of time in there, you don't feel it. You feel like you just dropped off the kids. I'm sure the parents feel the same way. Here's another hooked on crochet. Is this hooked on? Oh, no, this is Annie's crochet newsletter. Whatever that is. Here's a hooked on crochet. Okay, but, ooh, does that have her name on it? No, this is somebody else's name. Carla Learn. Okay. Sorry, Carla. So it's hooked on crochet, and it's a bear, and oh, wait for it. Santa bear that you can crochet. Yeah. So anyway, next week, I'm going to start the children's patterns. We're going to start with simplicity. Then the week after that, I think I'm going to finish up everybody else. Does my area have a Goodwill outlet store? We don't have a Goodwill outlet store, but we have Goodwill bins, and they're kind of like up the, they're kind of like, I'm trying to think the place. I think they're in Lambertville, which is like, it's not quite an hour away. It's like 50 minutes away, right? And it's, interested in, Oh, there's one in Cedar Rapids? I didn't know that. It's nice that you're taking your granddaughter and her boyfriend there. My friends, oh, yeah, Pam saying that she has some early 1960s crochet magazines with mammy patterns in them for making Mammy dolls. I know it's interesting when you run across that kind of stuff and you're like, because then I'm like, should I sell this? Is this super insensitive? Like, because they're usually bundled with other stuff, like just another doll pattern, or whatever. Anyway, Olivia, my friend's son and his girlfriend are thinking about buying their first house. And my advice to them was go buy used stuff. All the used stuff is better quality. I was just talking about this with the woman at the post office. They just gave her a new printer for the labels and it doesn't work. And I said, well, could you call them and see if they have one from the 70s? Because that one probably still works. And we were just laughing because like most of the things I own are vintage, really. And even my couch, which is not vintage, is a perfect example. This couch wasn't cheap. I bought it during 2020 when we were in lockdown. And it's already got these weird pulls in the fabric, whereas I can go online to Facebook Marketplace and see a couch that's from 1960 or 1970, and it's almost pristine. And it's like, why is everything made so poorly nowadays? But I'm happy that the interesting thing is both of them, Wyatt and Steph, were like, yeah, the vintage stuff is cool and it's better made. But I'm so glad to see that younger people are not buying a bunch of stuff, because there was that kind of generation in between where everything had to be designer and they bought a lot of like cheap, crappy stuff, and it's like, and that's what I'm also seeing in Goodwill. $2.70. Hi, Cybele. $2.75 a pound in California. That's funny. I think here in New Jersey it's $1.49, which is the same as it's $1.45 per pound in the Midwest. I think it's $1.49 here in New Jersey. I know some other people that are pickers, and they go there occasionally. I have yet to go to the bins. The problem is that I think the bins, I have not heard that patterns are really a thing at the bins, because patterns are paper. And one of the managers at Goodwill that was filling in, she's actually from a different Goodwill. I was talking to her and I said, well, what happens to patterns when they don't sell? And she didn't say they went to the bin. She told me that they go to a company that recycles paper items, that they all go into like a big shredder, and then they get made into new paper and recycled paper items, which is better, but still it hurts a little bit. It hurts a little bit to think about what's going into a shredder. Like, So, okay. So you found patterns at the Goodwill outlet. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, and Cybele said she found him too. Wow. Yeah, the idea of patterns being shredded hurts me. I don't know why I have such like an attachment to patterns. I just do. You know. Yeah. I have heard two interesting stories about this. There was another manager from Goodwill that told me that she threw them away when they got them, that she just threw them in the trash. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was watching a video. It might have been Andra from Andra Makes. We were talking about her a couple weeks ago. I put a link to her a couple weeks ago. And she was saying that one of the thrift stores she went to, they take the tissue out and they use the tissue to wrap glassware. And I was like, why would you do that? If it's a perfectly good pattern, just sell it, and she had gotten some patterns from another thrift store, and that's why she was talking about it. But anyway, until next week, when we will be doing children's simplicity patterns. We're beginning the children's patterns. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope wherever you are, it's not too insanely hot. We're not quite hot yet, but yeah, it's going to get bad. And I hope that you have a great week. School's going to be out soon for some kids somewhere. I know here in New Jersey, we're finishing up on the 15th, and then some other people I know, their kids are finishing up on the 20th, which is like, the middle of the following week. And until then, Have a great week. I will see you next Sunday, and stay cool and stay well. Bye.